But first, it's time for the bad.
But it looks like it could be something that will be not good. Believe me, not good. No good, really bad for you. But it looks like it could be something that will be not good. Believe me, not good.
So Nancy Pelosi.
Oh, friend of the show.
A friend of the show, Nancy Pelosi.
She's a patron.
Yes, Nancy Pelosi's a comrade level patron.
She's a lefty from way back.
Yeah,
too.
she's a lefty. Exactly. She's a lefty from way back. Here she is saying that she will throw down the gauntlet on any effort to do anything about providing all Americans for real, full, no bullshit healthcare coverage.
Given the debates that we've had so far, it seems like the concern has shifted to now the Medicare for all maybe taking away our insurance that a lot of people have fought long and hard for and don't want to give up. How do you avoid actually frightening the American people on healthcare rather than reassuring them?
What kind of question is that?
I'm not a big fan
Like,
of
what
it.
kind of, I'm sorry,
Yeah.
like,
Go
what,
for it.
This drives me insane. These sort of supposedly neutral reporters. What kind of question is that? This insurance that people have fought long and hard for? Who has ever fought for insurance?
It's, I mean, what I love about it though is it's like, okay, we could take that I mean, obviously it's a bullshit question, but all right. Labor union contracts, which maybe he's alluding to.
No way. There's no way he's alluding to that.
Well, they use it in those debates, so probably not.
Buttigieg has been using that
Yeah,
one.
Buttigieg has been using that one. Or it's like you've been, poor most of your life. You couldn't afford insurance.
Right.
And now you have like Oscar that doesn't cover anything.
Right.
So I'm sure you'd be really bummed if you lost that.
It drives me crazy.
You know what it
insane.
is? Is it?
I mean, it is literally ideological reproduction.
Yeah.
Well,
It is
yeah.
pure ideology.
Pure ideology.
He's modeling the emotional response he wants. It's like,
Right.
It's like,
Right.
How do you stop from scaring these poor Americans?
Yeah,
like,
implying
Right,
it's
exactly.
scary.
What?
Yeah. Say you're a multimillionaire television
Like,
host
you could
who asks
also phrase it
banal
like,
questions.
How do you stop Americans from getting so excited by how good this plan is?
Yeah, exactly.
That's the real question. Well, Nancy Pelosi has an answer about discouraging Americans from having health care.
Given the debates that we've had so far, it seems like the concern has shifted to now the Medicare for all maybe taking away our insurance that a lot of people have fought long and hard for and don't want to give up. How do you avoid actually frightening the American people on health care rather than reassuring them?
I'm not a big fan of Medicare for all. I mean, I welcome the debate. I think that we should have health care for all. I think that the Affordable Care Benefit is better than the Medicare benefit, but we have invited advocates for it to testify in Congress, in the Ways and Means Committee, in the Budget Committee, in the Rules Committee, being respectful of the point of view. But it is expensive. Who pays is very important. What are the benefits that come in there? So I would think that hopefully, as we emerge into the election year, the mantra will be more health care for all Americans, because there is a comfort
so
level.
basically, and actually, and of course the answer is that redistribution pays for it and everything is covered. But also, she is basically, I mean, before I get to that, check out how depressing this is, Nando.
Yeah.
Because, I'm sorry, like, there's other politicians, people say like, oh man, if Bill Clinton just stayed true to his compass. No, Bill Clinton was always a careerist scumbag, like, give me a break.
Yeah.
Right? But
He's never believed in anything.
Right. It wasn't like, I was just so committed and then I was sold out by the system and next thing you know, I'm on Epstein's jet. But this is actually legit. Not that Nancy Pelosi would be,
right.
Not that she was Ilhan Omar or something, but I mean,
she's not a Conrad level patron.
No, but she might have been a Brooksy.
Right.
Check this out. I like it. Well done. Should have done this.
Thank you very much, Congressman McDermott, for holding this press conference and for your leadership on the single payer proposal. I remain a staunch and ardent supporter of the McDermott-Conyers bill. I am very pleased with the president's presentation last night. I'm sure others this morning have told you that he made an excellent diagnosis of the problem, and now we have to get on with how we take care of providing health care to all Americans. My problem with the president's proposal if there is a problem, is that one of the principles of universal access, one of the principles of the single-payer bill is universal access. The president has accepted some of the principles of the McDermott legislation, be it universal access, no precondition, portability, you know, the list goes on and on. But for access to be universal, it must be affordable.
So,
and my concern is that at 150% of poverty, a family would have to start paying for its 20% share of the insurance, may not make it affordable to many of the families whose needs it hopes to address. There is already a concession on the part of the federal government that a family needs food stamps if they're at 185% of the poverty level. If we admit that people cannot feed their families at below 185% of poverty, how then can we expect them to pay for access to insurance at 150% of poverty? I think the president is on the right track. I think the closer he moves toward the single payer, the better. As I've said before, I hope that this plan, and when I say hope, I mean that I will join.
So let me just say, maybe Nancy Pelosi was better when she had more of her Baltimore accent. But
Yeah,
that's depressing.
Yeah, I mean,
and of course, just,
wild. I had no idea.
Tee off on it, but I just
Yeah.
got to say, like, I didn't even bring out the charts, but like, because I don't usually do. But the point being is, like, what she's talking about in terms of affordability has become way more of a problem than she was identifying as a core reason of why you need single payer in '93. But
that's wild. I had no idea that she was.
Isn't that wild?
Yeah, it's just
Dude, she's a
wild.
co-founder of the Progressive Caucus with Bernie, and all of us.
wild.
And like, you know, I mean, well, so is Barney Frank. I mean, you know, a lot
Matt
of people
Karp
that
made this
suck.
point on Twitter. It's like because the Ezra Kleins of the world love to call Nancy Pelosi the best speaker in modern times, best speaker of the House in modern times, whatever. And he's like, is there he made the point that is there like a fainter praise than
Right.
that? Like who cares? I don't know, like in modern times, like
I am the best tennis player in Vermont,
yeah,
the best
Great.
skier in Florida,
yeah. It was like the other
best
speaker of the House.
snowboarder in Hawaii.
Before it was like a pedophile, and then there was like the other guy, and then Tip O'Neill. Like who cares? Like,
And then Tip O'Neill.
Yeah,
I love
Tip
that.
O'Neill.
That would be like that's where Chris Matthews. That's where like half
That's
of
like
his
his-
content. I love that.
he's
either
obsessed
just
with
like
him.
doesn't it? It's either like I love how it's his two polls are either like that's inspiring and that's like Bobby Kennedy. Or like, isn't this really the time where politics you need? You know, Tip O'Neill used to pass out in the office,
Yeah.
and he would masturbate on the couch in front of the interns, and then he would talk to Ronald Reagan. And there was a relationship there.
Hey, if there was a disagreement, Tip O'Neill put the two people in a room, and they weren't leaving until they figured it out, until they hashed out the compromise.
I remember there was a whole problem with the NCAA, and they were gambling, and then people were smoking crack, and Tip O'Neill said, "We're going to put an end to this." And well, anyways, and then he has those like occasional moments of lucidity.
Yeah.
And so it'll be like, and that was actually most of the major legislation in the drug war, which, well, I guess it didn't turn out too well racially. But anyways, that was Tip. That's what I love about Chris Matthews.
Yeah.
Chris Matthews occasionally will have more lucidity than anybody
And
else.
then,
And then just goes right back. Yeah. Like, but I mean, really, what it comes down to is capital accumulation. But anyways, Tip would have a drink with Ronald Reagan.
When Obama won and Chris Matthews was like, I felt this thing coming up my leg when I saw Obama.
felt a thrill
coming up my leg. Like you could like mix it with like you could do that. Like when I see Tip O'Neill get two men in a room to hash out some legislation, I got a thrill up my leg. Like
The way
drunk Irish
Buttigieg is saying he
Boston.
wants to work with Facebook, isn't that kind of like Bobby Kennedy?
It's the same exact.
You know, the way he talks with Zuckerberg, that's what I like is like the comparisons get more like maybe 10, 15 years ago, it was like, I guess. And now it's just like, isn't like when Zuckerberg and Pete talk, isn't that sort of like Bobby Kennedy and the Teamsters? And you're just like, no.
Bill Simmons does that too, where he just like compares every like it's like it's like that, you know, you know, like LeBron, LeBron, you know, it's just like it reminds me of that episode of 90210 where you know. Joey
It's
is
a
like,
really
it's
good
like,
Bill Simmons
and it's like, no, dude, like, what is he talking about?
It's like Tip O'Neill.
Yeah, LeBron's like Tip O'Neill.
Did you see Tulsi Gabbard's Instagram videos? It kind of reminded me of Bobby Kennedy meeting with Cesar Chavez. We're both sweating on the field.
Tulsi-
Well, but anyway,
Yeah.
look, you're a great congressman. That's another one. It's like,
Tulsi Gabbard's burpees is like the new politics.
You just watched a Michael Brooks show video. Subscribe to get them all. Why wouldn't you? Don't be foolish. Click subscribe below and become a patron as well. Patreon.com/TMBS. Thanks, everybody.